blue shell is infamous among players for being one of the most feared items of Mario Kart. The blue shell is designed so that it always prioritizes first place, and it does so regardless of who throws it. This means that if you're feeling a bit spicy, you can blue yourself so long as you get back to first and use the item. In fact, blue yourself has become a bit of a meme category in speedrunning. Now, I'm no speedrunner, but it did get me thinking. What if we take it to a whole new level of flexing? I want to use a blue shell on myself, then dodge said blue shell with a mushroom. And I want to do it in an online match because it just makes it a whole lot funnier. It's not that fun if people don't see it. Unfortunately, this is going to greatly complicate things. Both Mario Kart 8 Wii U and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe use a distance-based mechanic to determine what items you get, but Deluxe adds some additional conditions. Unlike the former, your overall position in a race also affects the potential item pool. The Mario Wiki only lists the probabilities for the Wii U version, however there is an online tool we can use to determine when the blue shell will appear. The first condition we need to fulfill is be in a minimum distance of 3,130 units from the lead racer. Now I'm sure you're all curious as to what that means in terms of in-game distance, and that's a very good question. Anyways, the second condition is that a blue shell can only be obtained from those in a position ranking from 3rd to 12th. And the probability of this is further broken down into 3 different groups. As you'd expect, the first set has the lowest chances of getting the blue shell, while everything past 5th place has greatly increased odds. Although, generally speaking, it's best to hang around 9th for the best odds. Additionally, the blue shell is one of many items that cannot be obtained until a certain amount of time passes in the race. In Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, you need to wait a minimum of 30 seconds before they're added to the item pool. One other unique trait about the blue shell is that only one can ever be on the field at a time. Keep in mind that these are the conditions for getting the blue shell in a regular race with default item rules. The 2 most common ways to deal with a blue shell is by using a super horn, or, in my case, a well-timed mushroom boost. And this is where it complicates things. Not only do I have to get my hands on a blue shell, which already is a rare occurrence, I also have to get a mushroom item for the second slot, meaning that if I get anything else, I'll have to restart the whole process. Yes, I suppose a star or bullet bill could be used, but then I'm not really dodging it. The next step in the process is having to race all the way to first, all while being at the mercy of other racers. I won't be able to use any items, and won't be able to take the majority of shortcuts to catch up. And even if I do manage to set up things perfectly, all it takes is a single shock to ruin everything. Oh yeah, and remember what I said about only one blue shell being active at any given time? Yeah, of all variables, that's by far the worst because I have no choice but to wait out the lobby just in hopes that I get the next one. Now, I may be a very patient man. Oh my god, can you guys move already? But these layers upon layers of RNG are making me kind of nervous. I could easily set up a custom race and only turn on mushrooms and blue shells, but that kind of takes away the whole challenge of it. Plus, I really want to do this in a random worldwide lobby with other players. Unfortunately, this brings us to the first problem. While I don't play a ton of online, I do have a current VR score of 16,000, meaning that 9 times out of 10, the players in my lobby are going to be at least at a similar or higher skill level. To put it bluntly, it'll be next to impossible for me to grab a blue shell and mushroom and somehow manage to drive all the way to first without the help of items. The only way I could theoretically pull this off is if I chained a star and shrooms into another item box, not only getting the 2 items I need, but also dodging a shock. Considering how much RNG is at play here, it only makes sense for us to do this challenge on a fresh new account since the lobbies will be a lot more manageable. Now, if all you care about is the results, feel free to use the following timestamp to skip ahead in the video. Boot up the game, pick one of the default Miis because I'm lazy, select online mode, forget that you need a membership per account to play online mode, buy a Nintendo Switch Online membership, again, I should have got the family one, god damn it, and we're off to the races! Literally. Since most of the parts are locked, I'll stick to the default combo, and as tempting as it is to go full on Metaslave with my second favorite character, PT Piranha is my one true love, so we'll be following our heart instead. Okay, so we're in our first lobby. You can see that everyone has around the same amount of VR. I'm sure that we're gonna blend in very nicely with our super convincing username of Alt2. Why hello there, fellow player! I too enjoy the cart of racing. Just ignore the fact that I keep spinning in random circles and literally hitting every single object in existence. I'm just not used to these dang-fangled controls. Unfortunately, we went the entire first race without a single blue shell. If that isn't a sign of things to come, I don't know what is. Okay, it took 3 races, but we finally got our first blue shell. All we need now is any sort of mushroom item. That is not a mushroom. So already we've run into our first hurdle, because in order to get rid of the star, I need to use the blue shell, and thus get another blue shell. The one positive thing about staying in the back is that it gives me plenty of time to collect coins. Because coins increase your top speed, it's one of the few things that we can do to make this challenge easier. And it's good that we did max out our coins, because not only did we get a delicious shock dodge, our bullet bill leads us right into an item box containing a blue shell. It would be perfect if it weren't for the fact that we have just over half of 1 lap remaining. I'm gonna be here for a while, aren't I? Oh my god, yes, this is really good, and we're still on the first lap. Now is the stressful part of having to slowly weave our way through the chaos to get to the lead, who unfortunately seems to be playing pretty well. And just when I started to think that I could pull this off, tragedy struck.
Surprise, motherfucker.
What? No, that did not just happen. Hey, no, that's my blue shell. Did you see? That he stole it. That wasn't even supposed to hit him. It was supposed to hit me. That's my blue shell. Everything had been set up perfectly in the first lap. I had good driving and dodged to the best of my capabilities, and to have all that thwarted by a boo was very disheartening. On the bright side, I would have failed regardless since a shock came immediately after. Luckily, I am a very merciful human being, which is why in the next race I timed my shock to hurl every single player into the abyss. The game must have not liked that because I once again got a blue shell with a star. It's okay, I'm not angry, just disappointed. Is anyone here? What happened to the people in the lobby? It feels like I'm living in a creepypasta. It's already been 30 seconds and the screen has not changed. I swear this has never happened before, though to be fair, I haven't played for a while, so. Who wants a free membership for the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack? There they are. Yeah, I'm just gonna nope out of this lobby and find another one. Turns out, this was the best possible decision I could have made. Not only is Yoshi's Island one of my favorites with no bias whatsoever, but I also managed to snag a blue shell on the second lap along with a set of triple shrooms entering the third. Please don't hit me, please don't hit me, please don't hit me, please don't hit me. No! They had to. I was right behind the Bowser Jr. Dude, wait. Oh my god, he fell into the off-road! I'm so close. The finish line's right there. No. If I didn't get hit by that one red, I would have had it. Now, as defeated as I might sound, given how close I was to achieving our goals, all it did was motivate me to continue. I mean, this was even better than the Wario's Gold Mine race. The next track that was picked was Rainbow Road, which is already a great start since it's arguably my best track given my, past experience with it. And while I do get a blue shell following the glider portion, I unfortunately also get a crazy 8. Now, I know the fact that you can properly time it to use specific items, but I've never really understood how that works. Usually I just spam it. Plus, you'd have to consider that I'd have to combine that timing with the timing of the blue shell dodge. In my opinion, that's way too many variables to consider, so we're just gonna have to try it again. Wait, is that a person with max VR? Why is a person with 99,000 VR in this beginner lobby? Yeah, the matchmaking system might be good, but that doesn't mean it's perfect. I assume that this is likely someone who's joining a friend with low VR so they can get into lower level lobbies for the sake of farming VR, or in this case, so that they don't lose VR. Man, I can't believe that some people would go as far as to abuse a system just for their personal gain or to flex on them. The nerve of some people. Okay, now there's a person with 31,000 VR in here. I'm not sure if it's another friend joining this person, or if the person with max VR is causing the system to add in higher levels of players. I did end up getting a blue shell in this race, but not only was I very far behind, I was put in the same position as the race on Rainbow Road, meaning that unfortunately I was forced to throw away a perfectly good blue shell. It's clear that the two high-level VR players weren't going anywhere, so I made the decision to just quit and enter a new lobby. Big mistake. We race on Choco Mountain, DK Mountain, Waluigi Stadium, Excitebike Arena, and Mario Circuit. How many blue shells did I get in total? Go ahead, take a wild guess. 0! Nothing! But it's okay, I guess, because we're racing on Vancouver Velocity. It has great music, so that'll definitely help us. Wait. That's actually pretty good. Wait! This is huge. I wasn't joking about this being one of the best tracks. If we can pull this off here, that would be such an amazing climate. Red shell, red shell, red shell, red shell. You know how they say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result? Now, this may have ruined my plans, but as a true gamer, I approached it with a cool, calm, and collected head. I was right beside them when they threw that red. How could that one have targeted me? I'm pretty sure the next race being on Grumble Volcano is supposed to be some sort of symbolism, but I can't for the life of me figure out why. Oh, look, it's Snowland! I like snow. It reminds me of Christmas, which just so happens to also be coming up. Or not, depending on whenever this video gets out. Look at all the penguins! Aren't they just so cute? And would you look at that, we actually got a really good item set for this course. All that's left is to pull off this really cool shortcut with our golden and we'll be in a perfect spot. Is now a bad time to mention that I don't know how to drive any of the booster course pack tracks? Sure, the run was dead regardless since my second item was a star, but if I pulled off that cut, the distance probably would have guaranteed me a mushroom instead. The same goes for this sweet canyon race. I managed to grab a blue shell, but not only is it the third lap, I'm so far from the lead that my second item is a bullet bill. Here's a conversation that no one was expecting to be brought up. Has anyone watched Naruto? It's a great show, but you know what sucks about a lot of shonen anime? All of the gosh darn filler episodes. Now you might think that the only reason I'm telling you this is to ironically use filler to pad out the runtime of this video for more ad revenue, but I assure you that I would not stoop to such levels. It's because every time I race on a track and don't get a blue shell, it feels like I'm living in a goddamn filler episode! It's at this point where I'm starting to think that I may be losing my mind. Take this race on TikTok Clock, for example. Everything's going perfectly until this turn where my brain then thinks, you know what would be a great idea? If I just go ahead and use the blue shell here. Did I seriously just throw my blue shell by accident? Honestly, though, if we were going to go with the filler episode analogy, then what comes next is that one arc that everyone and their grandmother talks about. Because immediately after our previous blunder, we get 3 races in a row where we get a blue shell. Alas, it may have been the most anticipated arc of the season, but sadly it was held back due to mediocre animation. In all 3 races, we don't pull a single shroom item for that second slot, meaning that this was all for nothing, I guess. Our next opportunity arises on Toad Circuit. Unfortunately, this track has plenty of off-road cuts, meaning that we have less of a chance of reaching the lead. Not that it really matters, because we're redded going into the final lap. Can anyone tell me why these lobbies are so damn slow whenever I'm waiting for the next track, yet when I decide to quickly run up just to get a drink of water, I come back to a disconnected screen? I swear I was only gone for like 1 minute max. And after one failed attempt where we get a blue shell and star on DK Mountain, something interesting happens. Okay, that is our first double blue shell in a single race. Yeah, we're definitely not getting this one because that yellow Yoshi has a massive lead. Now, as much as I'd love to tell you how thrilled I was when I went through 9 whole tracks without a single blue shell, 9 tracks! 9 tracks and no blue shell! Or the fact that I once again fumbled a race because natural instincts took over. I used the blue shell again. Why did I use the blue shell again? The runtime of this video is getting rather lengthy, so from this point onward, we're going to try and focus on the races that actually progress the plot. So remember that Max VR player we crossed paths with previously? No? Well, too bad, because the game certainly does. Is that the same Max VR player we had previously? I'm pretty sure the other one was also a Canadian named Ayden. The fact that this happened a second time made me feel as if Ayden and I were destined to become rivals. And as time went on, the lobby started to fill up with even more of what I assume are Ayden's underlings. The game has to be confused at this point. It saw the Max VR and just casually decides to add players with 60,000 VR to this 1,000 VR lobby. Being the only other Canadian here, naturally I felt threatened. It felt like this Ayden was challenging me. I cannot and will not let this player best me of all people, which is why I chose to assert my dominance over him by immediately leaving the lobby. I had a very promising run here on Twisted Mansion with a star chain into a golden and blue, letting me zoom past some of the racers, securing a succulent-looking shroom that's just begging to be used in a blue dodge. But you know how that song and dance goes. No! I had 10 coins and a whole lap to catch up. But if there's one thing you learn when playing Mario Kart, it's that even on a competitive level, you really can't take the game too seriously. It doesn't matter how good you think you are, anything that can go wrong probably will. Knowing this, I decided to look on the bright side of the situation. I honestly expected a lot more runs to be ruined by shocks, so at the very least there's that. So here I am in Bangkok Rush with another blue shell just minding my own business when out of nowhere I get hit. Wait, what hit me? But it's okay, we're still in the game. Nope. Does anyone actually like the boo? Second has triple reds. Please throw them forward so this nightmare can be over.
Hello?
That's the second time this has happened. Why is this happening to me? It's safe to say that I did not expect the boos to be a bigger issue than shock. If the person ahead had time to throw the reds, it would have easily closed that gap between myself and first. But, as the saying goes, patience is a virtue. I am going to track down these ghosts and bring them back to life only so that I can kill them again myself! So here's a funny story. Another reason why I chose to make a fresh new account for this is because I'm also planning to make a video where I reach 0 VR. And since I'm already losing on purpose, it felt like killing two birds with one stone, right? Well, I'm starting to think that I might actually not have to. You know why? Because I'm already at 300 VR! I started at 1,000. It feels like I'm so close, yet so far. There are so many variables at play here. The items I get, the order of said items, whether or not there's currently a blue shell at play, what lap it is, what track it is, how good the players are. I know that I can do it. I just need that perfect race. One where all of the pieces line up perfectly. This race has been stuck like this for well over 15 seconds, and I'm worried that it's gonna disconnect me at any moment. Well, there's the blue shell. I'm driving like garbage, but this room doesn't seem that bad. There's a lot of people taking wide lines here. I hate how well this is going because I know that this is when I get triple redded or shocked. No, please don't do this to me. I am literally racing side by side with the lead. And he took the boost path. Wait, he took the top path. Yes! Oh my god, yes. I did it! I blew myself and dodged it in an online race. I'm finally free. And there we go. I don't think I was at this for 10 hours, but it sure feels that way. In total, the challenge took just over 7 hours to complete. It's by no means as impressive as other things like getting a world record in the Blew Yourself category of speedrunning, but at the same time, only a handful of people can say that they blue dodged themselves in an online match. And looking back, I was incredibly lucky. Not only did I manage to get second place in the blast, but they were also holding a red shell. If they hadn't taken that upper path, there was a very high chance that even this run would have been over. In total, there were around 94 races, in which I counted getting 26 blue shells. 11 of these failed because the second item wasn't a mushroom, 2 were accidentally thrown early, 4 were destroyed by shock, 5 stolen by booze. God, I hate the booze. And the remaining attempts were ruined because I couldn't reach first, either due to items, the lead being too far ahead, or getting the shell at the very end of a race. And the question I'm sure that all of you are asking, was it worth it? No.